Kia ora tātou, morena, good morning. What a wonderful day we had yesterday and what a wonderful evening. So thank you all so much for your participation, your enthusiasm and your contributions. I thought last night was a bit of a party. We've never felt so relaxed at a reception like that before, so it was wonderful to have you all there. What we want to do this morning is just go through some of the highlights of the Te Arapiki NCAAL website, also known as Literacy and Numeracy for Adults.com website. We get a lot of really good feedback about this website. We also get a whole lot of questions because you've seen things on it, but you can't find them. So it's the same old thing, it's a navigation issue. And what I'm going to do this morning is just, in about 15 minutes, go through some of the key areas where we get most of the questions. There's also a PowerPoint which I'm not referring to this morning, but it will be uploaded onto the website with the links in it. I'm actually just going to do a live show. Can you believe that? So early in the morning. Anyway, so let's begin. Under resources here, we have a whole lot of videos, and the videos all live in our YouTube channel. So even though you can get them here, as you open them up, you go straight to the YouTube channel. And the one I want to start off with here is the Educators Working with Tertiary Education Strategy Priority Groups. Working with Māori to start with. And now, that's a completely different view to what I had just before, so that's interesting. Starting with... Okay. This video clip, which was made in 2009, I think is still absolutely outstanding.
Outlines how teachers can use the knowledge of Te Whare Tapa to enhance their teaching. It explains the journey of many Māori learners and also outlines the tutor's perspective towards this. Te Whare Tapa is a model of mātauranga Māori, first published by Professor Mason Jury in 2001. It was initially framed for the health sector, but we use it in this resource as a useful model for understanding people. Holistic models can be applied into many diverse contexts by many different groups, and although this knowledge is drawn from Māori culture, it is not limited to working with Māori alone.
When we talk about our learner from the context of Te Whare Tapa, we place the learner in the middle, which means that we look at our learners in 4 different ways. And those 4 ways, according to Jury's Te Whare Tapa, are Te Taha Wairua, or the spiritual.
And we're not going to watch the whole of each video clip, but just give you a taste. So that was very much relating to what Renee Babington spoke about yesterday morning, so engaging with the learner. We then go back to looking at the Pacifica work, which is Pale in the room at the moment? He is? Pale, if you don't mind, I'd just like to use your clip, also made at the same time, again, an outstanding video clip talking about Pacifica learners.
This section will help you to understand what Pacifica learners in New Zealand trace their heritage to. It will help you to recognise the diversity of the learners within the group. It will also help you to understand the cultural commonalities that exist.
The Pacific covers about 1/3 of the Earth's surface, with vast expanses of ocean interspersed with tens and thousands of islands. These are home to people who, by language, culture, and ethnic characteristics, have been divided into 3 main groups: Melanesian, Micronesian, and Polynesian people.
And again, for 7 minutes, you can listen to the wonderful background and the information about Pacifica, which is so important for us as we go forward teaching our learners. And also we have here working with youth And again, a range of video clips. But to go back to where we were, which is again under resources of videos, you can see that for each of these, that we've been in this area here, can you all see what I'm doing? Yeah. For each one there's this catalogue, and if you open the catalogue and it downloads, it gives you a whole list of, I wonder where that download comes up. It gives you the list of all the videos relating to working with youth. So for example, the playlist for youth, so you can go straight into those links, and similarly with the working with Māori and working with Pacifica. When we go back to the homepage here, there are different search functionalities. So obviously we've got the menu across the top, which is where I've just been here in the videos, but we also have, when you scroll to the bottom, the links, direct links to Pathways Ararua, the assessment tool, and the learning progressions. Some of the other key pieces of work which people asked us about are down here on the bottom banner, including the learner profiles, and also on the top banner we have the, it's always a struggle working a mouse, isn't it? There. Let's go that way instead. And on the top banner, which as you know flicks around, and you can link directly from there into specifics. So from there, key work that we have done just recently under embedded literacy and numeracy embedded approaches. These are resources that you can use immediately. Each one has a teaching and learning sequence that you can connect straight into, and supporting resources where necessary. This is a fantastic piece of work. We've had a lot of inquiries about NCAAL Level 1 numeracy, and here we have a brand new set of resources which take you through all of those teaching and learning sequences for use number to solve problem, use measurement to solve problem, and interpret statistical information. Each one here, again, you can download, and in your hand you have a wonderful teaching and learning sequence that takes you straight through an idea approach for teaching numeracy at that level. When we go back, you will also see, I'll go back up here again, that for example in core skills, some of these are video clips, some of these are PowerPoints, and some of these are just downloads. But under core skills we have a range of, for example, developing a curriculum vitae, developing understanding statistics, and, oh no, sorry, this is the one that I wanted, introduction to core skills, developing the curriculum vitae, communication skills, and yeah. So each one is driven by the context, but can be applied, or can be transferred across to different contexts. We're really happy with those resources. Oops. I lost my glasses in the weekend. These are my replacements. I've already broken. The next piece of information which is really helpful is coming into the teaching and learning approaches, also under embedded literacy and numeracy, teaching and learning approaches. And these are the learner profiles that are so helpful for engaging the learner to find out where we come down here to capability profiles, numeracy learning profiles, for example. What does a step 4 learner look like? What can they do? What do they struggle with? And we can go back to also the capability profiles that have been developed in a similar way. So what is the capability that a step 4 numeracy learner have. So that's we find that's really helpful for making the assessment tool engagement more alive. This is where you're at, this is what you need to be at to get to the next level. Moving on to, of course, assessment tool support. And in here, there is a whole lot of amazing information. Thanks very much to NZCR, who update this all the time and are constantly putting things to help us all. My favourite part of this particular page is the quick links. And for all those questions about how to use the assessment tool, etc., they're all here. You click straight through. It also takes you to some of the video clips. So, for example, this one, fabulous well-tech development of how they engage with learners.
This video clip is about positive ways to discuss initial assessment with your learners. Learners are entitled to know this information and providers should discuss it with them. The initial assessment is a tool to help more learners staircase into higher education and keep learning.
As an example, but it gives a wonderful view of how to engage more meaningfully with the assessment tool. In terms of this particular event, we come in here under professional learning, conferences and symposia. And we have uploaded all the proceedings from the previous conferences, symposia here. The one that is still one of the most useful pieces of material that we ever had was done in 2012 in Workshop Series 1 by Gary Sharp. Gary Sharp, are you in the room at the moment? Yes, Gary, who developed this most wonderful brochure. And I'm sure Gary will talk about it, and I know he's often handed out the, what do you call it, the template for other organisations to use. Again, Gary took pictures of people at WIT and was able to put in the learner profiles, and in addition, so that learners really knew exactly where they were at, gave that to each of the learners, and that each person had their own personal progress record. It was no surprise for them to know that they were going to have to do assessment 2 at the end of their program. They knew that from the very beginning. And as Gary says, one of the most wonderful things about this was that the tutors understand their obligations and the need for them to engage with the learner around the assessment tool. It is under professional learning, symposia, under professional learning, under conference symposia. It's on the link in the PowerPoint that will go up on screen. Conferences and symposia, 2012, Workshop 1, Gary Sharp brochure. So we keep every presentation that you do at these things we keep. The other part of professional learning are online modules. And so this is for your own professional development, to take you through a process of learning. We have a recent one up here, which is an induction resource, which we've been using in induction workshops. It tells you everything you need to know about the process for embedding literacy and numeracy. Again, it's a download, and you're able to take this and use it in your organisations as you wish. So here it is as a download. That should come up. For some reason it's not. Oh, it's taking time to open. Anyway, that's where the induction resources, so that's back under online modules. And the other really useful one is Knowing Your Learner. And this takes you through the whole process of how to interpret assessment tool results to inform your practice. This was by the wonderful Lynette Winter. And it's a series of pages, reading reports, and taking you through that process with Lynette's voiceover, which makes it very accessible. So again, online modules under professional learning. The other wonderful piece of work under professional learning, which is incredibly underutilised, is NCAAL support. And to get in here, if I go into Induction, it will ask me to log in. This is the only part of the website that you have to log into. And because I've already logged in this morning, it's obviously stayed up there. But all you're doing for the login is username and password. If you haven't done that before, another box here will pop up saying, please register. And then you have free access to this part of the website, which was developed on a reflective learning platform. So it takes you through a process of questions, writing responses, being able to take snapshots, using that as your portfolio. We developed it for two purposes. One for you as a learner going through NCAAL, or the other as an organisation using this material to inform the development of your NCAAL program. And for the way around this is very clearly articulated here by Erina, who was our online senior editor. A little video clip showing you how to find your way around that reflective learning platform. It's I think it's a terrific piece of work. You can click into any of these, and there we go. Okay, so here I have to go in at this stage and log on. No, I can't see this morning. And if we, for example, go, so each of these are related to the elements of the unit standard. I've just forgotten the name of that unit standard. What is it? The number 21? Thank you, that one. Pedagogies and practice, we can go through here, right through to, I thought the useful one was, what did I think it was going to be? To an embedded approach. So, an embedded approach. Again, just a very clear, articulated way of...
General reading glasses, if you're right.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
A very clear, articulate way of looking at all those elements that you need to for NCAAL. And again, it connects back to the other parts of the website and brings in some really good examples of work, including down here, what has worked for others. Again, still resources that are on the website in different parts of the website, videos or whatever, but they've been brought together here. And there's some fabulous video clips that were done by Whitireia some years ago, which are up here, as well as others, and Unitec. Keeping on then, all the really key information that you need to know can be found under under About, Tertiary Education Commission, and Guidelines and Support. And these are key documents that the TEC has on their website, or sometimes actually not. More in the past, they've come to this website, but sometimes they're on both. But anyway, these are the key ones. So whenever you're talking about the equivalence diagram of NCEA and how that relates to learning progressions, for example, here it is here, aligning the three measures. When we're talking about the practices table, it's here. So these are critical key documents that you can just go straight to that part under Tertiary Education Commission, Guidelines and Support. And finally, of course. The plug for our work is under Workshops and Advisory, what we're doing this year. So there's another round of workshops coming up for Induction in September, and go down there and register in an area close to you. And that is my time. So as I said, there is a PowerPoint with the links in it, so it's easy for you to just link through, but it's good to just play around and get to know it a bit more. I hope that's helped somewhat. Thank you very much, everybody.